Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Jimpact Zone. It's me, James Chisanti, hosting Market Down's live Impact review. No Chad this week. I'm sad about it too, but I'm here. I'll keep you safe. I'll keep you happy. And let's go over Impact Wrestling as they do their go home show on the road to emergence. Their Impact Plus premium event going to be live tomorrow night on YouTube and Fight TV and Impact Plus and wherever you could watch Impact. Okay, it was a good show, lots of action, lots of drama, lots of backstage segments. So let's get to it. We started the night with more of the Bullet Club Honor No More war continuing with Karl Anderson going against Kenny King. You know, Anderson isn't everybody's cup of tea. Neither are any members of the Good Brothers, but it was a fun match. Karl Anderson going over Kenny King with a great gun stun counter. This is the type of cutter that would make Randy Orton proud. This is the type of cutter out of nowhere that memes are made of. And I love this finish. I love this move. It's good to see Karl Anderson remind people why he's so damn good. It's still weird for me to see Bullet Club or Karl Anderson in general be viewed as the good guy, but Bullet Club is very clearly the baby faces in this feud with Honor No More. And, we saw some of those heel tactics after the match when Kenny King tried taking out Anderson with a chair, taking him out the same way they took out Rhino and Heath for a little bit with a chair around the ankle. And speaking of Heath, thank goodness for a last-minute save where he came in and took out Kenny King, continuing his own one-man crusade. Wow, he's a one-man band. Wow, that really carried over. Against Honor No More. Good match, fun little match, good way to get the crowd started, who started off a little slow in my opinion. They came back around as the night progressed, but a little slow to start the match. Moving over, we jumped over to the second match, which is Kushida versus Diener of Violent by Design. This feud has been going on for a little bit with the Time Splitters or the Motor City Machine Guns, whatever variety of matchup that we've gotten going against Violent by Design. Tomorrow at Emergence, we're going to get Kushida and Chris Sabin, not the normal pairing for either man, against Joe Doring and Diener. Tonight, though, Kushida gets the win with a bridge suplex, which was just a thing of beauty, which shouldn't surprise anybody. It's Kushida. There's nothing that this guy does that isn't great. But he hits a beautiful bridge suplex to get the win. Again, this is Impact Wrestling. There was a good amount of shenanigans throughout the match with both Joe Doring and Chris Sabin getting involved in the match, but it didn't distract enough from the finish where Kushida got a nice, clean win. Now we're going backstage where we see Brian Myers, the digital media champion, once again, repping himself and congratulating himself over his big win against Black Taurus last week. I'm not thrilled with that win, but Brian Myers is doing a good job as the digital media champion. He was confronted by constant thorn in his side, Bhupinder Gujjar, who is once again demanding a title shot for that digital media championship. And finally, after some goading and some schoolyard oohs from the boys in the back, Brian Myers wants to see if Bhupinder has what it takes to become verified, which totally needs to be a thing with this championship. And he's giving him his title shot tomorrow at Emergence. This event is really amping up to be something nice, so you guys really should check it out. Staying backstage, we had Eric Young cutting a promo that, I won't lie, I didn't quite understand. It wasn't bad. It was eerie. It was very Sanity-esque. But he told his boys, he told the world that the world doesn't belong to them. And tomorrow he will be getting involved in some capacity because the world is his. I didn't understand any of it. I don't think he's in a match. But hey, he'll be there tomorrow. Going back to the ring, we had what was both the most exciting and most tragic aspect of the night, as we had Killer Kelley's debut, something that's been hyped for the last several weeks. Unfortunately, against Bronx girl Tiffany Nieves, man, I knew she wasn't going to win, but man, I really, really, really wanted her to. I'm sorry, I got to rep the hometown, guys. But Killer Kelley definitely has it. She has something. I don't know what it is, but there is something creepy. There's something scary about this Killer Kelley character, and the way she made Tiffany tap out with a rear naked choke. Her movements, second time I'm bringing this guy up tonight, but her movements were very Randy Orton-esque, very viperish. She moved around the ring like a creature of some sort. It'll be very interesting to see how Kelley continues to evolve with her time here in Impact, but it's very clear they're building her up for something major. Big entrance, big quick match. I hope we see more of Tiffany Nieves from Ohio Valley Wrestling. I'm not expecting it, but good showing for the young girl. Great showing for Killer Kelley, and let's see what's to come. We then had a promo package showing the entire battle, the entire war from Honor No More and Bullet Club. That led to a nice segment with Eddie Edwards leading the troops, getting them hyped for tomorrow. He told PCO last week to prove himself, and he said he did. Tonight, Kenny King might have gotten a loss, but he says Karl Anderson is hobbling. Honor No More has a lot at stake here. If they lose, they disband. If they win, Matt Taven and Mike Kanellis are going to get tag team title shots. That doesn't feel quite as important as the group disbanding, but it's still a big deal. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, but he is definitely leading these men into what is going to be a brutal fight between these two teams. We go over to our a second knockouts match of the night, where Mia Yim beat Madison Rayne, who unfortunately went 0-2 this week between AEW and Impact. But while Madison might have lost to the Eat Defeat move, which is just so fun, Madison Rayne reminding us all why she is as important to women's wrestling as she has been for so many years now. She wrestled this match like a true veteran, with a lot of smarts, with a lot of ring psychology, and she might have gotten the loss, but she continues to impress. And now that she is the AEW women's coach, legit, I'd say those women are in good hands. We go back to another backstage segment between Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo, where they kind of recap, because Chelsea wasn't here last week. She wasn't on Impact. Deonna needed to keep her up to speed, and they said, while they always need each other, Deonna didn't need Chelsea last week to get the win. They don't know what they're dealing with Decay, but they're very excited for the future, for bachelorette parties, for titles, possibly, as they go for the tag team titles against Decay, which is Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie. Going to a different part of backstage, because, wow, the Impact Zone must be huge. Jordynne Grace confronts her frenemy. Is that still a thing people say? Mia Yim. As Mia Yim picks up that win, she's looking to build some momentum in her title match against Jordynne Grace tomorrow at Emergence. Jordynne Grace really, really being a little aggressive. A little aggressive. Nothing like her Twitter game, but enough to remind us that, we should be cheering for Mia Yim in this match. Reminding her that the two times they teamed up, they lost, and, Mia may have taken those pins. Mia is trying to remind her that it takes 2 to win and it takes 2 to lose. And she is very ready for tomorrow's match. Also throwing in a nice little jab that Jordynne has the shortest tag team title reign. So she's not too unfamiliar with losing with or without Mia. We then led to the main event of the night, the X Division Championship match, where champion Speedball Mike Bailey defended against, man, oh man, this guy just pops up everywhere, Rocky Romero. This was a great back and forth match, once again showing veterans knowing what they're doing. It's weird to think of Mike Bailey as a veteran, but he's been around for a long time. It's great that people are finally getting to see him again. Speedball took the win over Rocky in a nice back and forth match where he won with the Ultima Weapon, which, wow, is that move beautiful and scary. It's a shooting star press against a kneeling opponent. Wow, there is so much room for error, but every time he nails it to perfection. And Rocky Romero took the 1-2-3, but being a man from Japan, shook his hand afterwards and showed him the proper respect. And also, I guess, a man from Ring of Honor, where he also shows up. Where doesn't this guy pop up? Either way, great match as Speedball takes on Jack Evans tomorrow. 2 defenses in 2 days, not a great move, but hey, if the matches are as good as they are, go Speedball. Want to keep seeing it. And finally, we end the night with a contract signing. You guys know how these things go. There's a table, there's 2 men, there's someone who fails at moderating. Typically, somebody goes through that table. But that's not what happened here, as champion Josh Alexander and Alex Shelley, first time challenger in 20 years at Impact. 20 years at Impact. This is Alex Shelley's first contract signing. That's crazy to me. That is absolutely crazy. But this is their first time going back and forth. And man, Josh Alexander wishes he went through that table because Alex Shelley left a verbal smackdown in the ring. Josh Alexander paying his respect to Alex Shelley, saying how after his first live show where he got to see Alex Shelley wrestle live, Josh Alexander the next day went to wrestling school. He was inspired by what he saw in that ring. Beautiful story. Alex Shelley was touched and he was impressed. He also said that he's heard that story multiple times and how there are lots of Alex Shelley clones out there. What makes Josh Alexander any different than anyone else? Well, according to Josh Alexander, he was always more of a Chris Sabin guy, which might have been one of the biggest ouches I've ever heard. But hey, he's got a point. Chris Sabin's a former Impact World Champion. Alex Shelley's never made it to the dance, and Alexander made sure to remind him of that. He said tomorrow when they wrestle at Emergence, he needs Alex Shelley to be better than the best he's ever been, because the best he's ever been hasn't been enough. Shelley counters with saying, you know what? You're going to see your hero tomorrow. You're going to be back to being that 18-year-old kid who saw me wrestling and then the next day started wrestling school. I'm just going to see another Alex Shelley mark, which was meant to be a bad word, but here at Mark It Down Podcast, here in the Jimpact Zone, we love marks. I am a mark. I'm James, but I'm a mark. So Alex Shelley gave him what he's been wanting since he was 18 years old. He said he's not going to leave him empty-handed, so he left him with this. He signed the contract and he told Josh Alexander, here is your Alex Shelley autograph. Man, I couldn't even look at the screen, guys, but it was so good. I am rooting for Alex Shelley tomorrow. It is going to be a great event. I hope you guys can watch it. And I hope if you watched Impact tonight, you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, I hope this review makes you want to go watch it. It's always a pleasure hosting you guys here in the Jimpact Zone. I'll be here next week. Most likely, I will be reviewing the show tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll have some friends along with me. It's been a great show. Thanks for coming. Have a good night.